So technically it was harder in the previous patch. I did it when it was actually hard. Is that what it is? that's so we can actually go with that meme. That's what they're doing. Okay. That is never going to go away under any circumstances, which is great. Grats, but I did it when it was harder, so you're kind of shit, actually. You're kind of garbage. You're kind of garbage. The nodes for 621 are available, include details of the introduction of Echo to Pandemonium, as well as a number of resolved issues. Alright. Housing. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay. The illumination of the pendant wall light finishing has been adjusted. Is that because of Jaffe? There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. That is some ironic timing if that's the case. Oh my god, I left my arse off. That can't there. That's fucking really ironic timing. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. I don't think it's the right light, right? The pendant wall light. That's not what... Yeah, it's not. It's a different light, I think. Is it a different light? Why is it ironic? Were you not here yesterday? We went to a museum yesterday that was shadow artwork. Jaffe's laughing his ass off. Are you kidding? Jaffe came up with some wonderful, wonderful pieces of shadow artwork yesterday in the wonderful Museum of Modern Art, as put on by the Crawlers. It was very, very good. Okay. Further exploration of charges of Paladins getting changed. Boofed. Does it look like Boofs? I've not played Paladins, so that makes no sense to me. Oh, is this to assess all the tank balance that people have been moaning about? Because Gunbreaker's too strong. Gunbreaker's too strong. Yeah, try to get the tank balance up. Little tweak of the numbers. Little tweaks. The HP of Hephaestus and Abyssos, the 8th Circle Savage, has been reduced. This adjustment applies to both phases of the battle. In our endeavor to create an encounter more challenging than Asphodelos, the 4th Circle, the team responsible for final adjustments spent a great deal more time than usual working on balance for this raid. Under normal circumstances, the DPS of this team serves as a base for determining a boss HP value that results in clears as close to the time limit as possible. However, as extra time is dedicated to testing this battle, the team's overall performance proved to be higher than usual. As a result, the base values used for adjustments were too high. The final value is roughly 1% higher than intended. They were too good. They had that shit on farm. They had that fight on fucking farm. And therefore they tweaked it by 1%. 1%. Still keeping, I mean, that is...
That's a skill issue.
I mean, that is what happens when you farm the shit out of it, right? That's such a gentle nerf, though, right? I'm used to seeing numbers like 30%. That's what I'm used to seeing. I'm used to seeing like 30%. This is like so tender. So tender. Oof. Yeah, 1% is big, but like compared to what I'm used to seeing, this is very gentle. Very gentle. Nice 1%. But Echo's like... Well, we still did it when it was hard. Yep, they wiped so many times at 50%. And they wiped plenty of times at 1%, 2%. They were getting there. But they made it, though. They made it. That's what's cool. They made it.
Can I get a wah?
We have reduced the boss's HP to bring the battle in line with our initial balance projections. We apologize for any inconvenience caused. 1% sweatier than Echo. There you go. Oof. Most people get another 20 item levels before they down P8S. Yeah. It was harder at 6.2. It was harder yesterday, true. Can you imagine the toxic adders if they cleared it after the nerf? Honestly, nerfs like this can really spoil a raid atmosphere. They really can, especially if it makes it substantially easier and you were like getting close to beating it. Like there'll be how many groups out there do you think were wiping at the last point at like 1 and 2%? Like quite a few, right? Quite a few. Let me take my belt off. So I'll make sure my pants can fall down. Not really on a belt. Yeah, a lot. And then you come in and you kind of not stomp it, but you don't you don't have that level of commitment. It like just kind of dies. Players will now receive the Echo. Yeah. Any of the issues in there? An issue is playing as Dragoon, wearing the effect of the right eye granted Dragon Sight. An issue on the Island Sanctuary, where grazing animals were placed outside the pasture. Oh, I didn't see that. An issue on the Island Sanctuary, where the workshop and granary did not function as intended under certain conditions. An issue wherein the Isle Keep's Codex could be accessed outside the Island Sanctuary under certain conditions. Okay, so they've not changed any of the spawn rates or anything. An issue where they're using the Glamour Dresser, where in the iSearch command for large items addresses are rare. Okay. Some minor bug fixes then. Some minor stuff. Yes, they fixed some spawn bugs. An issue where certain else did not appear despite being required to find it. Oh, the weather one. Yeah, that's cool. They did. That's got to be definitely frustrating for some people who weren't aware that there was a bug. Which is good. Which is good. Does item search still crash your game? You have too many items? I do not have so many items that I have to do that. Devs explaining their job changes. Is this all the direct hit and stuff? With the release of 6.2.1, several adjustments have been made to action potencies to address tank performance issues. Paladin. Although Paladin has difficulty dealing high levels of burst damage when compared to other tank jobs, they excel at maintaining high sustained damage even when handling battle mechanics by way of their ranged attacks. However, recent duties have been designed to include features that reduce stress on tank and melee DPS jobs, such as significantly larger boss targeting circles. Because of the design choices, the unique advantage of Paladin's high sustained damage loses its impact. Using Abyssos's the 8 Circle Savage as an example, there are prolonged periods where the enemy cannot be attacked, as well as mechanics that grant increased damage to players, further emphasizing the value of burst damage. In such situations, the job's incompatibility with the duty becomes more readily apparent. To substantively resolve these issues, we believe a full re-evaluation of actions is required. That said, waiting for such an evaluation would mean prolonging the unfavorable state of Paladin. For this reason, we have elected to increase the potency of the actions as a temporary fix. As more significant adjustments to action mechanics will require more time, such changes will be implemented from 6.3 onwards. For now, we elected to adjust actions that will improve the job's burst damage. Okay, little homogenization, but it makes sense. Although Warrior excels at dealing burst damage, we found that overall damage to be somewhat lacking compared to other tank jobs. We decided to increase the potency of their actions in 6.2. We're focused on improving its basic combo actions. We made further improvements to the potency of combo actions as well that contribute to their burst damage. Please don't ruin it. I've not played Paladin. It must have carried a lot of range stuff then. Sufficient mastery in FF14, sufficient mastery of a class will open up the path to one or more related jobs in the respective things. Okay. Yeah, it was the last one not completely homogenized. Yeah. Too late, Paladin. We made to fit the 2-minute burst. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. All kind of coming together. I can see why people would be pissed. It's one of the things that I think WoW does pretty well. They still maintain their separation of church and state in that regard. The classes all still play relatively differently. It's nice. But it's something I've noticed. I pointed out in videos. Is like a lot of the jobs that I've played. There's only like 5, so very limited. They kind of have very similar functionality for what they do. But it's understandable with FF14's design. Interesting stuff, man. Interesting stuff. I mean, there's got to be some serious Paladin lovers out there, right? Hardcore ones. Just made the Blue Mage like a man. The skill floor for the Paladin is low. The skill ceiling, however, is super high. Oh, that makes sense. I made a Paladin. You're a big boy Paladin. WoW is still pretty different. Pretty different. There are lots of people who can't pick up the... who can't pick up other classes particularly easily. I've always found it relatively simple, but... to maximize. Right? Everyone can play. I think everybody can play most classes in MMOs at a pretty basic level, a passable level, pretty easy. They banned someone because of waymark. Oh my god. Those are the links to the threads there. My static save situation. John is our paladin and copper. That's the way they stick. Main problem is WoW, some rotations become down to 50% spamming one button. Healers get stuck with that instead. I would argue that similar to what FF14 is facing a little bit here is far too much of WoW's damage output is contained to very small windows. And then your overall damage is kind of shit. That's always very disappointing when it works that way. It's like so much of your damage output is contained to really, really like specific windows where everything's multiplicative in WoW. So you end up just... You can almost AFK outside of those burst windows. Let me see if I can find a good example. If we go here... Let's look at this chap here. You see what I mean? Woo, 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 woo. And it feels kind of, I mean, do you know what I mean? Woo, woo. Can you tell when the cooldowns came back? Can you tell when they came back? And that's, yeah, you get the old woo, 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 woo. Short fights are way more prone to RNG. It's usually where you're, I did a really in-depth video on this, I think during Warlords and Draenor, so many years ago. I was trying to explain to people how DPS cooldowns work. Because some people just didn't get it. Some people just didn't get it. How DPS cooldowns and fight length matters if you want to maximize yourself. If you want to be a real sweat, like this, the length of fight matters so much in terms of how you can delay cooldowns, how much of a window of delay you've got to wait for certain procs to line up and all that kind of stuff. And some people just never got it. They just never ever got it. They didn't understand. It was kind of frustrating. Kind of frustrating, especially when you're dealing with 3 minutes. I bet this DPS window looks really weird, right, with his movement. Yeah. Looking at a WoW Basics video about cooldowns, maybe Shadowlands, I think I redid it in a simpler format, because it was something I really desperately tried to explain to people. Because the habit of so many people is just to press DPS cooldowns on cooldown. And there are many times that that's not the best play. It's not the way they especially if weak auras didn't help with this. Because weak auras flash up when your DPS cooldowns are available, and so people like press it to get the weak aura to disappear. Because it's sat on your screen, so you should press it to disappear. But I sometimes went way too far with that, like in Mythic Plus. Yeah, pooling resources, waiting for trinket procs was... Like, some of the trinkets in World of Warcraft are so exceptionally broken that it's worth holding for quite some time. As long as you don't lose a usage. That was the basic idea, is you can hold your cooldowns as long as you don't lose a usage of them. That's what I did in Shadowlands. Like, a really basic idea is as long as you don't lose an actual usage of your cooldowns, then you're beneficial to hold them. And you can check the timer and say, right, I've got like 3 minutes. So I can use it here. I can use it here. And then can I use it again? And if I can use it again in a longer fight, is, well, how long, including the time it's up, do I have where it's not going to get wasted? Do I have like 40 seconds? In which case I can sit on my cooldowns for 40 seconds and wait for the right time. That's pretty good. It's well worth coming back to and trying again. My honest feeling on this, me and Chris have been talking about this a lot, because we're shooting a new style of video, which we're pretty excited about, actually. Like, Dragonflight, for me, right now, is like a good foundation. And I feel like WoW is aiming to be far more drop-in, drop-out than it ever has been before. And I think that's probably a smart move. Considering what's going on in the rest of the gaming world in certain MMOs, I think it's a really, really smart move. Is they're going far more drop in, drop out, and more towards the FF14 style, where it's okay if you leave for a bit or you don't do anything, and you want to play something else, because frankly the market is so massively saturated with amazing games. A lot of them are free now. Like it's really hard to build the day in, day out game, which is what WoW's been trying to do now for the longest time. They put in so many things into the game which kind of forced their players to be there every single day. And if you weren't there every single day, then you were missing out on something. That pressure builds and builds and builds. It's not something I miss, for damn sure. Because, I mean, any of my long-time viewers here will know, like, logging in every day to smash out dailies, get them done. I think the worst example would have been BFA. Like, during Battle for Azeroth, it was every stream for about 3 months. We would get a group of like 10 of us together, and we would clear every single world quest on the map. Every morning. Every morning. We would do that for like 2 hours. Just run around, grind everything out every single day until we got exalted with everything, because we needed to. Like, your power upgrades were hidden behind that, and none of it was fun. It was never fun. Like, maybe fun for the first couple of times, but like after that, it's just pure monotony, where you're like, the most fun thing you do is plan the most efficient route to access every quest. So from what I can tell in Dragonflight, they're going to come away from that. They're going to move away from it and go for a more drop-in, drop-out style, where you can come in, you can push as hard as you want, or you can push as little as you want, and you'll still be kind of fine, which is pretty good. I remember the dark days. It's a second job. Well, it just felt like that's what you do. If you played World of Warcraft, that's what you did. And even up till recent memory, it's still been like that. But so far, in Dragonflight, I've not seen anything that is mandatory to keep pace with the rest of your team. So far. I think professions might play a little bit into that, but the aim shouldn't be to play as little as possible. It should be play to have fun. Because I think that's some of the message that gets mixed in there, is people, how little can I play this game? Which is not the goal, right? The goal isn't like, I don't want to play the game at all. If that was the case, just don't play the game. But it should be to play to do what you want. Right? That's what it should be. You should be logging in to do whatever the fuck you want to do and move on. The problem is I see it, unless ABK's desire for non-stop engagement has suddenly... I didn't even read that as Activision Blizzard King then. Has suddenly changed. Blizzard are inevitably going to put in mandatory grinds and shite into Dragonflight somewhere to keep those MAUs high. Well, I think they need to learn a lesson. And I would like to see this, and it was one of the questions I would hope to have asked Squeenix and Co. when I was there. My personal gut feeling, based on absolutely nothing at all, is a lot of Final Fantasy XIV players keep their sub running even when they're not playing, in good faith and happiness, because they may just want to log in for an evening and see their friends. They may log in to want to do an event at some point in the month. Even if they're not actively doing their main content piece, right? Because MMOs, as we talked about, are like a buffet, right? MMOs are a buffet. You've got your favorite thing, and then there's a bunch of other things that you kind of like, but you don't want to have all the time, right? So you visit this buffet every day for lunch. There's that thing that you absolutely love, but then that's done with. You've had it to death. You're tired of it, or you don't want it anymore. But I think there's a lot of good faith and a lot of love in the community for the people who can afford to run a subscription for the game without feeling the stress of needing to maximize that investment, right? So I think WoW needs to take a page out of that. Is like, if people are happy to log in and do their raid once a week with their friends, they're the same. They represent the same in MAUs as the guy who plays every single day. So why are we forcing everybody to play every single day and burning those players out who, frankly, are more than happy to log in and raid with their friends, be totally viable to do that because they don't need to keep up with artifact power, fucking getting essences, grinding out their latest translation in the new zone, unlocking the legendary crucible, doing all that kind of shit, and have no interest in doing that kind of shit, but still enjoy playing the game in what they do. they're still the same on the monthly active users list. They're still exactly the same. So, kind of like a gym membership. A little bit kind of like any membership, right? We've got, like, a lot of Twitch subscribers. It's the same over here, who watch VODs. Like, if you look at our VODs, they're watched by tens of thousands of views. But they're not here during the live show. They don't get to participate in these discussions and stuff. But that is their entertainment when they get home from work or when they're, like, doing their night jobs or anything like that. You know, it just can't, because obviously we can't be here around the globe, right? You know, shockingly, the Earth is spherical and moves around this giant burning star, and we can't be there every single time. So, but those guys still, this is their daily entertainment. So they still subscribe, even though they can't join in with meme fiestas and things like that. They still are there. So that's great. It's what value you get out of it, right? You round earther, bullshit, it's flat. Me with Critical Role channel. Love their content, but can't watch live, so I sub to them to support. Exactly. Like, I know it's like, this isn't sellout me talking, right? This isn't sellout to me, but I was talking to Chris and some other people about this. Especially at PreachCon, because we had a lot of streamers here. I honestly, personally believe a Twitch sub is one of the most value for money fucking entertainment options in the world. Like, it's $5, and in general, for a regular streamer, you get like 40 plus hours a week of content. And if you enjoy that content, that's better than a Netflix, it's better than a fucking HBO package. You know, it doesn't have the production value and all that kind of shit, but in general, for your day-to-day entertainment, like, it's really, really good value. And that's why I sub to a lot of people. I sub to plenty of people on Twitch for that very reason. And there's a lot of people who sub, even though they can't watch live, because they still get it that way. Yeah, 30 plus hours a week. I mean, it's literal cents. You know what I mean? It's pretty good. As long as the streamer streams. Well, that's the thing, right? Because we know. When I went on holiday to Mexico... that was the first holiday I had in 2.5 years. This isn't a sob story. This is just reality of how it works. And it's what causes a lot of people, as you guys know, there's a lot of people being pushed to the mental brink with streaming and stuff like that. It's why I take my weekends. So I'm excited to come back on Monday. I like taking those 2 days with my family. But I know I could give you some numbers for this. I know when I went to Mexico, it cost not just the holiday, but it cost me in terms of unrealized revenue because people unsubscribed because I wasn't there that week or 2 weeks. Around $10,000 or $11,000, I think we worked out, Chris. Something like that. Because if you're not there, people unsub. And I know that Tim the Tatman took a week off, I think, when his child was born. And I think it cost him like $65,000. Because the amount of people who unsubscribed because he wasn't there for a very, very short period of time. And that's the stress. Now comply that with like a day-to-day job, right? Comply that with a day-to-day job. Can you imagine if you went on vacation or whatever from your day-to-day job and that cost you like 30% of your income on top of how much it costs you to go on vacation? And now you see why like suicide is up in streamers and fucking mental health issues and people cracking and burning out, and there's the terror of not being there all day. It's the advice I always give to new streamers. And we had this conversation with Crusher recently because Crusher wants to get into more regular streaming. And my first thing that I always tell people when you get into streaming a little bit, don't feel like you need to stream for 13 to 14 hours a day. Because the theory here, the theory is, or at least the general basic theory is, people can't subscribe to you if you're not online. Which is true. People won't subscribe to you if you're not online. Like, it happens very, very rarely. So you should be online all the time so that people will come and subscribe, right? If you're looking at it from a financial side of things. However, you are going to be a dog shit streamer, like, past, like, 10 hours. For the most part. Unless you've got some fucking Twitch or some sort of mental, like, change to, like, the average person. You are going to be fucking crap after, like, many hours of doing it, right? There are some people who could just go all day, every day. Like Soda, XQC, Even Asmon could do it. Like, we'll just go and have that 100% energy for like 20 hours. And for me, I'm too fucking old. I'm too fucking old. I'm not doing that. I'll be shit. And therefore, I'll fucking... Yeah, I'll be online after like... I could be online for 20 hours, sure. But I'm going to be sat here like a corpse. And ain't nobody got to tune in and watch that. In fact, it'll be have a negative effect on things. I'm like, is there a recap of what goals were hit? Yeah, so we have... One's not done. So we did Sataru cosplay. We did that. We shaved Chris's head. We have unlocked Chat Guesser, which we haven't done yet. Chris is setting that up. Apparently, it's something you guys can get involved in. We have unlocked Me versus Nupss. And from what I can tell, the guys have something pretty stressful planned. That's coming. We've got Arcane Watch Along is unlocked. We're going to be doing that this afternoon. What else unlocked? Chris knows them all. But yeah, we've got all them. Yeah. Asmod does that, then takes months break in between. Yeah, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him. Like, the energy levels Asmod puts in for that amount of time is wacky. Absolutely wacky. Yeah, we'll be watching Arcane this afternoon. Oh, yeah, Subnautica and XCOM will be coming in. We'll be doing that as soon as FF7 finish. Will the Crawlers come to Chaos Walker's housewarming party on Sagittarius? I don't know about that. No, we'll watch one episode tonight, and then we'll spread it out so we can have some nice afternoons together. Yeah. Breaks you mean streaming on his side channel, right? But the side channel that Asmon does is very, very different than the main one. Like, he usually sounds like he's on the brink of death. It's like, you know, I checked it out once, I think, and it was like, yeah, okay, I'm going. Right, it's not the same guy, right? It's the guy who's in pure farm mode. So it's pure farm mode. It's a very different experience. He's chilling. He's absolutely chilling. Like, I chill like that. Do you think when I'm, if I'm playing a game at home, do you think I'm like commentating everything and like, you know, trying to give it some vibe, some fun? No. No. Absolutely not. There's no way I'm doing that, right? If that's when I farmed my island on the Saturday. I was in my underwear. And people are going like, oh, you're going to stream it? I'm like, no. I'm fucking sat here like a degenerate. Like, it's sat in my own fucking filth just farming jellyfish. That's what I'm doing. Imagine not voice acting every single line of dialogue. I would have skipped every part of story if it wasn't for streaming. I know it. Because my instincts when I came into FF14 with quests are to skip everything. I had that WoW muscle memory. Look, I've been trained by World of Warcraft for so many years. It's like skip. I would probably not read even like past the first like 10 lines of dialogue. Skip. Yeah, thank God I streamed it then, because I did. But my training at the time was to skip it all. Yeah, the PlayStation event tomorrow, new FF16 trailer. God, I don't want to see it in a way. I mean, we're going to play the shit out of FF16. Like, I don't want to see it, you know what I mean? Convince Scripe to play the story properly. I don't know if Scripe would like it. I'd like to believe everybody would like it by the time they hit Heavensward. I would like to believe that. But Scripe doesn't work that way. I'm not sure. I think out of the two, I think Scripe would like it more than Roger. I think Scripe would like it more than Roger. He's got a more mature head on him for those kind of things. And a little more patience. He has to have patience watching the guys wipe to Halondrus for 4 days straight and not being able to help. So I think Scripe would enjoy it more than Roger. Roger is antsy and he's pants man. Roger's go. I skip the story when I play it. I get the details when I see people stream it. Yeah, you guys kind of have that advantage, I suppose. I think there's a lot of people here who don't listen to the story and wait for us to play through it to see what happens. We definitely found that with the Gaius raid. It's like everybody skipped everything so they could go and raid with their friends and go and goof around. Oh, servers are up. Zeppler angers somewhere in the distance when you say skip. I mean, we all know Zeppler skipped something at some point. Definitely happened. Whether she would like to admit it or not is a different matter. But let's not pretend she's never pressed that button. She's pressed it at some point. You know it. Skippler. Yeah, I think that's fair. You know it, I know it. You know it, and I know it. You skipped some of the Tataru quest line? Accidentally. Accidentally. You can't expect me to dig. Like, the botany story kind of started alright. But it definitely got weak in some parts of it. Oh, hey there, Skipper. Please come in for the skippers. You also called a man queef and skipped the dying lines. I imagine the bubbles are broken again. We got so close, but I imagine the bubbles are indeed broken again. I really do. I suspect they are broken again. Oh, thank you, everybody. Thank you for the subs. Winterspell, thank you for the bits. Thank you, guys. You're awesome, dudes. I've skipped every single crafting and gathering quest. I think the difference for me is if I'm trying to hit a goal, like with botany, I was just trying to cap it. That was my main goal. I didn't care about leveling at all when we played the initial story. I really didn't care whatsoever about capping. I knew we would cap long before we actually finished the story, so I didn't give a shit about experience and stuff. But when it comes to like gathering professions and stuff, I just want to be done. I like the Starblood botany story. It's about Ishgardians being racist about cabbages. Oh. That's a dream. That's a dream come true.
Hope you get into fishing some time.
I tried the fishing. Yeah, I have another story actually. I got whisked very quickly to sea fishing. I got whisked very... Oh, good. Good job, Mezagus. Getting to the island. Make sure everything's good. Let's get our stuff. It's important. Even the people who played from the beginning, though, Shadowbringers would be a way more special for people who played since The Realm Reborn, in my opinion. I think so, too. We and Chris have had some long conversations, really. Like, he asked me a question. This video is coming out, so I can't give too many details on it. But he walked by, and he very casually drove my mind to pure insanity. And all he said was, if we had the resources, what would your idyllic MMO look like of the modern age? And that was it then. And my brain went fucking bananas. It's still going bananas. We talked about it for about half an hour this morning as well. Yeah, he's laughing now because he's gone down that road as well. Like, what is your idyllic MMO look like? And I was like, fuck. Fuck. Because there's so many lessons that have been learned. And I'm really interested to see what Riot does with it. And Ashes of Creation. Like, a lot of lessons and stuff have been learned about MMO design and how people actually react to things. I've got a good example I can show you, actually. It's how... Especially since MMOs became mainstream. Like, the way they became mainstream really changed how MMOs work compared to when they were the sole property of the sweatiest of the sweats. Right? We got any EverQuest gamers out there? I bet we have. Who remembers what it was like way back in the day? Who remembers what it was back? Yuppers! Yuppers! We got some EverQuest gamers who were there in the foundations of these things. Ultima Online. Original RuneScape. It was stupid. I don't think this video is not coming out for 2 weeks, so I think we can have a little look at this. But one of the jobs for our lovely Bex here isn't simply to troll me. What she actually does is a ton of research on larger project videos that we're doing. In fact, she spoke to several members of the community about various MMOs, so thank you to those. You know who you are. You know who you are. But she was showing me the WoW diary from the perspective of people... Oh, before we go into this, let me ask you this question. What is the idyllic length of a dungeon in an MMO? What is the idyllic length of a dungeon in an MMO? 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes, 15 to 20. Okay. 15 to 20, 10 minutes, 15 to 30 minutes. Okay. Now, EverQuest gamers, original WoW gamers, this question is for you. I am talking original WoW players. I'm talking pre-Scarlet Monastery players. Are you part of that crew? That noble house? What was the idyllic length of a dungeon in 2004? An hour plus? 2 hours? 2 hours? Yes. Okay, so that was from the sweaties. If I was to base it on my Neocron days, my ideal dungeon length is about 4 hours. Because that's how I did my dungeons back then. But the dungeons were very different, so they were just outdoor areas that basically like a WoW world boss where you just rocked up, said invite, and joined a crew of people, and then just AoE'd shit for like 4 or 5 hours. But that's what I would do with my Saturdays. That would what we do after I finished work. After I finished school, as it was back then, is I would just rock up, say inv and AoE for shit. 5-hour Blackrock Depths. Right, so we can see in the modern audience, the more modern-eyed audience, and I actually agree with this, the ideal dungeon length is about, I would say about 20 minutes. 15 to 20 minutes. But that's not how it started all the way back then. So does anybody recognize what dungeon this is? Now, I know it's very low res. That's unfortunate. But does anybody know which dungeon this is? Oh, God, it says it on the side. Never mind. I didn't realize it actually fucking said it. But this is Wailing Caverns. So this is from the point of view of the guy who created the Wailing Caverns. And you can zoom in on it. Yeah, this is me zoomed in, though. It's still very low res, though, as you can see. So this is the original Wailing Caverns design. Anybody who's ever done Wailing Caverns, which is a relatively low-level dungeon in World of Warcraft's Barrens Zone, will know this is not what Wailing Caverns look like. And their original idea was that it was too small. And you could never have a dungeon too big. So now we're going back to, like, this is 2003. It can never be too big. So they said it needs to be way bigger. So he was like, oh, okay. Fine. Adds more to it. Bigger. Okay. So he adds the side wings to it. Bigger. And then he adds on a full-on fucking maze until we get to the actual Wailing Caverns as we know it today. Now, how many people, let's be honest here, and I will include myself in this, have been lost inside Wailing Caverns? Like, actually lost. And can't find wherever the fuck anybody is. Most people, right? So this is madness. This is absolute ludicrousy. And most people are au fait with the infamous jump that exists in Wailing Caverns, where you have to physically jump over a gap in the road to go up to the top, and people fail it and have to run all the way back around Wailing Caverns in a maze in order to get up. Okay, so we're all pretty familiar with this. Yet, Wailing Caverns is a surprisingly popular dungeon. People got used to it. I farmed the shit out of it when WoW Vanilla came out. So let's look at this. Images provided courtesy of Blizzard. So let's look at some mindsets here. So this is Jeff Kaplan. There is no such thing as a dungeon that's too big. When in doubt, make it bigger. Do we agree with that today? Do we agree with that today? No. No, we don't. In general, no, we don't. Like, dungeons could be just way too big. And it also comes down to, what the fuck is in the dungeon? What is the dungeon about? Is it big for the sake of being big? Should it be smaller? Questions like that start coming up. The growing pains of the Wailing Caverns. When Chris first described the Wailing Caverns as a cave with dinosaurs running around, that was all the lore I really needed to hear. Because I loved caves, and I couldn't wait to build one. So I borrowed memories of cave tours I'd taken on family vacations. My personal goal was to create the first convincing cave for a computer game. The actual process of creating every single stalactite and stalagmite was tedious, but everyone seemed pleased once Stu Rose finished painting textures for it. Alan Adam loved how the Wailing Caverns looked, but surprised me when he put the instance at the end of the final big room instead of the front entrance. So, this is another thing that happens. If you've done Wailing Caverns is not at the start of the cave system of the Wailing Caverns. The Wailing Caverns dungeon is actually at the back of the Wailing Caverns cave system. Now, there was an idea here. We'll keep reading through this. So, if you've never done it and you're a Final Fantasy XIV only player or whatever, or you've never played WoW, is you actually have to go through a whole series of caves with have elite monsters in them, and then at the back of there, down at the bottom of a hill, is a instance portal. That's where the dungeon is. Now, importantly, this is well before things like LFD, Dungeon Finder, queuing up for dungeons. Don't exist. Never going to exist for like 7 or 8 years. This is long, long, long before any of that stuff. So this is where the dungeon actually is buried deep. All right, quiz. Pop quiz, chat. What is the other dungeon around a similar level that is like this, that exists in WoW? And it came out with the launch of WoW. The Dead Mines. Yes, the Dead Mines. The Dead Mines is exact. So you can see the dungeon philosophy of the WoW developers at the time was a really cool idea, is you would have to traverse some sort of outside area before you even got to the dungeon, and then the dungeon would start. Immersion-wise, Black Fathom Deeps is the same, and it comes down to the same reasoning. Now, why did they do that? Mora was a bit like that, yeah. Diamor's a bit like that. Uldaman, he's a big example of that. Uldaman, Noma's like that as well. Immersion, yes. Is it more immersive? I would argue it absolutely is. Yes, I would argue it absolutely is. It is more immersive. It is definitely more immersive. Like, Uldaman is a great example. You have to go through this archaeological dig site. You have to work through all the things that have lurked in there. And then inside, you find a temple just like Indiana Jones would do. They wouldn't have the door to the temple just sitting outside. Okay, there is another reason for this, though. There's another reason they did this, right? There's another reason. This is how they believed you would find your groups. Because there's no LFD. They believed that by providing quests that would take you to the outside area, right? So the area you need to clear on the outside, that you would naturally bump into people who were of a similar level and on the same quests, and that is how you would find people to be part of your group. Yes, Trooper is correct. There is a logic behind that. It's actually a very sound logic. Except, players have an overriding inbuilt system, and it's called being efficient as possible. Being efficient as possible. And when that happens, the idea of hoping to stumble into players randomly that also make up the holy trinity of a tank healer and 3 DPS, or tank healer 2 DPS and something like FF, just doesn't work. Like, it doesn't practically work. But remember, these devs came from where all the dungeons were outdoor. They weren't instanced. They were outdoor areas where you would just turn up and say invite, and you would naturally find groups of people doing stuff. So it made logical sense to them. There was a logic behind it. It did make sense. It's just in practicality terms, it was far easier to stand in a major city, spam trade chat, get your group, and then go down to the dungeon and ignore everything. Guild Wars 2 had this issue with its dungeon system as well, is people just turbocharged, ran past everything, and ran inside the dungeon as quickly as possible and ignored the immersion factor and the idea of bumping into anybody. So, kind of cool how the players dictated how this kind of cool idea just wouldn't work. I couldn't believe it. After months of work, the instance section hadn't even been started. Why wouldn't we just put the instance line out front when players entered the dungeon? I asked Alan incredulously. I want people to get the flavor of it before they commit to crossing the instance line, Alan explained. People searching for groups can just go there, kill things in the big common room, so that's the outside area, outside the instance line, and when they fill up with 5 players, they'll all go in. His supposition described the EverQuest paradigm that seems to work just fine. Okay? So there is a logic to it, and it's also what their experience was based on. Back in the day, that's how they found groups together, is by just being in the same area. At the time, we didn't know how long it would take to kill monsters. We didn't know how many people would be on each server, so we didn't know how much content was necessary to keep the looking for group players busy. We didn't even know how long it would take to clear a dungeon, or if people cared about clearing it to reach the final boss. Without these answers, we just built things to see what felt right. Each dungeon went through its own process, and some were easier than others. Some were even scrapped. Darnajan's Uldaman wasn't linear. Game designers couldn't say whether or not linear layouts were good. Right. So, if you listened to Yoshi P recently, this is what inspired us to start looking into this stuff. What's Yoshi P's belief on this thing? Does anybody remember? It was in the recent live letter. No, it was in a recent interview he did in a magazine. When it comes to dungeon design. Linear, non-linear. One route, gigalinear. That's Yoshi P's design. And the reason for that is players will just make it linear. Players will just make it linear. They will make it as efficient as humanly possible very, very quickly. And all the effort we put into trying to make it non-linear and have branching paths and dead ends and things that are realistic are a waste of time. So what you'll see is that every single Final Fantasy XIV dungeon is essentially a straight line. It's a corridor. But that's fine because they build it on the back of spectacle and wonderful things happening, bombs falling from the sky, 3 distinct areas per dungeon. And they're split into very, very significant basically 5-minute chunks. Something like, I would imagine internally the Final Fantasy XIV designers have a very strict rule that each section of the dungeon, each third, should be about 5 to 7 minutes long with a normal group. And that's how they make them. Old Totarak, anyone? Yeah, you can see how the design philosophy has moved forward, particularly since Stormblood. And you can also see this in World of Warcraft, because what I mentioned a dungeon that was released after this initial design, which is very, very, very different than this design that we saw with the launch dungeons of World of Warcraft, and that was Scarlet Monastery. And Scarlet Monastery, for those who've done it, was noticeable how? What was the big thing they did with Scarlet Monastery that they didn't do during patch 1.1, but they did do in patch 1.3? Multiple wings. They split the place into very efficient multiple wings. So they learned very, very quickly that this idea, this wonderful immersive idea that they came up with, was absolutely falling right on its arse with how players actually wanted to play the game. Each dungeon went through its own process, and some were easier than others. Darnajan's Uldaman wasn't linear. Game designers couldn't say whether or not linear layouts were good. So its quests required multiple visits. Anybody suffered through this? Where if there was a quest line in Uldaman that required you to go back to the place afterwards. And it was hell. That quest sat in my fucking quest log forever. I hated it. Yes, players fucking hated it. They hated it. They'd done the dungeon. They'd out-leveled that dungeon by that point. That was what was doing. Nobody would go there. It was out of the way. It was a pain in the ass to get to. And sometimes you needed to do it multiple fucking times. Oof. Only until Uldaman was built, quested, scripted, and played by non-developers, did we learn players did not like leaving a dungeon unfinished. They wanted the full clear. So think about this from a dev mindset. They're not even sure if players are going to bother killing the last boss. How nonsensical does that sound in modern era? Can you imagine going to a dungeon, the latest dungeon, so Troya or whatever? Of course they want to finish. They didn't used to. This is based on experience. Some people didn't. And I can attest to this. During Neocron, it was considered bad form to kill the last boss of the caves that we used to farm in. It was considered bad form. So you wouldn't kill it. What you would do is aggro it, and it spawned more enemies. So you would actually try and pull it out of the room and leave it to its own devices while it constantly spawned enemies. You wouldn't finish that dungeon. You would stay there for a long time. Instead, because what you wanted was the XP. You wouldn't go all the way. BRD, very, very common in Blackrock Depths to not go to the last boss. Emperor runs were really few and far between in the original WoW. Not talking about in the remake, classic, vanilla, whatever. The original WoW is very, very uncommon to do an Emperor run. You would go a different way. You would ignore the Emperor completely. Many people couldn't. It wasn't worthwhile, even though it dropped an epic item. It dropped Iron Foe. But people still wouldn't go there. In hindsight, it seems obvious that our early dungeons were just way too big. But previous MMO dungeons were epic experiences, embraced by only the most hardcore of players. The paradigm of big dungeons was established by EverQuest's non-instance play spaces, where play spaces needed to accommodate everyone on the server who wanted to go there. Besides, we don't want people to play through content too fast. Otherwise, they'd be done with WoW in only a couple of months. What we didn't realize was how much private play spaces, so this is the time we're introducing your own dungeon. So it's only you 5 in the dungeon, right? That's a big change back in 2004, is that this dungeon is just for you. There's no strangers going to show up. Would shrink the amount of overall play space needed. Besides, the concept of a short 1 hour dungeon. A short 1 hour dungeon didn't exist in MMOs. A nice quick 1 hour dungeon just didn't exist. That was quick. Short, 1 hour. And I always come back to that the speed run required for Shattered Halls in TBC was 51 minutes or something. 52 minutes. That was the speed run. That was the speed run of that. We looked at what? Oh, I bet we haven't got that video to hand, have we, Bex? From just the recent Burning Crusade. Yeah, this one here. Now, I can't attest to the skill of these players, but this is Shadow Labs Heroic in TBC Classic. It's an hour long. And these guys are way overgeared for this. Way overgeared. Now, I'm not saying they're the best players ever. I think I got Heroic Shadow Labs farm when I was tanking down to about 30 minutes. But these guys are giga overgeared for this. And this is still an hour long. Right, so there's definitely some pacing issues with some AFKs and stuff, but it's still a long fucking time. And look at all the markers needed in this room. Look at all the markers in this room. Like, I can still remember my pulls here. The throw, and then this is the correct way you pull this. And then pull it all the way back around this corner. This is how you did it. Yep, Shadow Labs Heroic. This is how you did it. Wait for the mobs to come. Dodge, because we didn't have expertise at the time. Lol. And make this work. It's almost a mini raid. Well, this was considered pretty normal. At the time, this was considered pretty normal. We learned only after shipping World of Warcraft that players really liked short dungeon runs. And so the Scarlet Monastery's wing approach was the direction taken by subsequent expansions. And then you can see that reflected in the later dungeons. Moradon was the same. Dire Maul was the same. Divided up into chunks. The later dungeons that were added. During the second concept meeting about how to expand the Wailing Caverns, Chris said, just make a boss room like the Crone Room in the 13th Warrior. I told him I liked that idea and built it beyond a cavern with a flooded ravine. After seeing the second iteration, the game designers said it needed to be a lot bigger. I was all too happy to accommodate them. This was a long before pathing code was finished, so no one could actually test what it was like to fight monsters. I added to the layout 2 gigantic wings. But I still worried that it wasn't a lot bigger. And I put in a 4th edition, a maze. I wanted to see if there was something interesting we could discover about mazes that would enhance the gameplay experience. Spoiler alert, there wasn't. Turns out your average player does not like being stuck in a maze in a dungeon. You know what? I don't have concrete evidence of this. But I'd be wondering if any of you agree with me without me giving you a clue. When he says, just make a boss room like the Crone Room in the 13th Warrior, I told him I liked that idea and I built it beyond a cavern with a flooded ravine. Does anybody else know which boss this is? In Wailing Caverns. Because I think I know which one it is. I'm not confirmed. The final? No. I don't think it's the final boss. Think of beyond a flooded ravine. Not the Murloc. I think it's the turtle. Yeah, I think it's the turtle. Because it's just a giant boss room beyond the flooded ravine that just has the fucking turtle in it. Okay, is it called Scum? The Thunder Kodo. The Thunder Kodo's not a giant room. The Thunder Kodo's behind a fence. I think it's the fucking turtle. Because there's nothing else in that goddamn room. It's just a big-ass giant room with a fucking turtle in it. Where was he? And the 4th edition, the maze section. I wanted to see if there was something interesting we could do with mazes. Spoiler alert, there wasn't. After we learned mazes aren't fun, I revisited the dungeon and took great pains to overload the maze with props and doodads. I even put a mushroom trail throughout it so people could take the shortest route without getting lost. But as it turned out, the mushrooms just blended in with the rest of the clutter. I will be the first to say I had no fucking idea the mushrooms were a pathway through that maze. At no point in my life have I ever noticed that the mushrooms in Wailing Cavern are a fucking pathway through the maze. The mushrooms are a path. He put them in there because people kept getting lost. There's a quest. The problem is, though, there's a quest in there to pick up mushrooms. So you're looking for those mushrooms and ignoring the rest of them because the other mushrooms glow that you have to pick up for the quest. Right? Yeah, make them visible. Yeah, they just blended in like scenery. So apparently, I need to check this. I need to actually log in and try this. But apparently, the mushrooms take you through the maze. So that's one of the interesting things, one of the many interesting things Bex plucked out for us on this subject. But very interesting, especially how they've strayed, because in Dragonflight there's a combo of small and big dungeons they're mixing in, but they utilize Mythic Plus in order to alternate the paths and things. Oh god, the party can steal your quest items. Yes, you had to share them. Did WoW not have patch notes similar back then, even now? Yes. In fact, if you go to... I believe they've been bought by Wowhead now, but you can go there. And you can read every patch note. I have to do it all the time when I'm doing legacy videos, is go and read the old patches. But yeah, you have every single patch note is available and archived. I'm pretty sure it used to be on WoW Wiki, but I think Wowhead bought WoW Wiki. And I think it's all integrated there now. Oh, yes! Does anybody remember the name of the Stormblood dungeon that is the really long one that goes right up into the sky? It's really, like, oddly long for a Stormblood dungeon. Yeah, you go through, like, the center of a mountain. And then you end up on the top and you have to get the air things. Swallow's Compass. Thanks, guys. There you go, Vex. That's the one I was thinking of. We were in a meeting yesterday talking about this exact stuff, and I was like, what the fuck is that dungeon? It was driving me mad. And none of us could remember the name of it. Swallow's Compass. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I was like, I'll ask chat tomorrow. They'll know which one I'm talking about. It's not that long, but it's noticeably different than the others. We need to run a time check on it. See how long that dungeon takes. It felt long. Exactly. Yeah, it felt long. It's slow and it feels long. Same place the first range roll request, remember, is? Yeah, I remember doing it. I just couldn't remember the name of it. So, obviously, for research notes, you want the name. It has a rare card, so... You're farming it for glam? Of course you were. Of course you were. But I think that stuff for me, as... Like, building up this knowledge, I find it really interesting how... dungeons and stuff have changed with modern expectations versus what the devs would like you to have, or what they think you would enjoy. I find that stuff super interesting. I'm not going to forget the other set, don't worry. I do these half, the other two are next to each other, so we go up here. Hey, sir, next time call my apartment, please bring cake. Roasted. I'm not bringing cake. We're not bringing cake. We think you do, you don't. Well, it's one of the things that really bothered me about the latest iteration of Uldaman. Uldaman's been remade in Dragonflight, and it just lacks so much of that immersive value that existed with the first iteration. And it really bothered me. It was like it genuinely bothered me. It's like they took out so much of the spectacle and stuff, but the direction WoW's gone in with its dungeons is efficiency and Mythic Plus and time matters. Oh, God.
But like,
hang on.
Starting to your point is...
Oh, you have to put that mic near you or it doesn't work.
What's starting to your point is like, imagine having Alderman, but without the Lost Ark moment and the Maiden appearing. Like,
But that's what it is. The Dragonflight doesn't have... It does have the Lost Dwarves.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the staff thing, right?
Very briefly. It doesn't have the picking up the staff. It doesn't have you putting the staff into the center of the model of the city. It doesn't have the light shining to open the Maiden. It doesn't have Arcadus being like trapped in stone in the middle and then it shakes out when he comes out. It doesn't have any of that. But it's built for a different audience. That's the thing.
Well, I never felt like the old Alderman, though, was inefficient, particularly. Like, not in the versions that you could do while you were leveling now.
The original Alderman is non-linear, and it actually has 2 entrances, if you remember.
I mean, like, the version you would do in, say, the Dungeon Finder today. I'm pretty sure a lot of that's been paired off.
Well, they lock it up.
I think so.
I'd have to check that. I don't know that.
It's been a while since I've done it. But
I haven't had to
remember,
level in forever, so I don't know.
But the last time I remember doing it, it's pretty straightforward now. So
maybe. I remember how bizarre it was, and the reason is we were looking through these notes recently. So Alderman had a second entrance that you could get halfway through the dungeon.
Right.
If you cleared a certain pathway, you'd actually find another instance portal that would take you back outside, and that was because they actually intended you to do it in pieces.
Right.
Their original idea with a big sprawling non-linear dungeon was that you would come out and take a break or come back with the same group later to do the rest of the dungeon.
Yeah.
Which people were like, no, I've got the group. I've made it all the way here.
I want to
finish the dungeon. But their original intention was that you would do it in like half the dungeon and then just go take a break and go out of this extra, and then you would have unlocked the other entrance to get back in.
It's weird how that works. I mean, same with like UBRS, right? There's so much stuff. It's like
UBRS is noticeable historically because it had a raid inside of the dungeon.
Yeah.
The original access to Blackwing Lair was inside UBRS.
Yeah.
Which is really kind of interesting these days, is that you would have to go in through a different dungeon to get into the raid. But immersion-wise and thematically, that makes total sense.
Yeah, the only time they ever really did that more recently than that was, was the Wrath dungeons they released for ICC. You had to go through linearly.
Yeah,
right?
the first time you had to
traverse
through each of the 3 areas before you unlocked them as separate dungeons to go to. Yeah, because you would
That's
go through the Forge of Souls into the Pit of Sauron. I forget what the last dungeon was called, where Arthas chased you. Halls of Reflection.
Halls of Reflection.
Yeah, Halls of Reflection. That was cool because it got you to go through all 3 of the dungeons.
I love those dungeons. I thought they were awesome at the time.
Yeah, shame they killed every single other dungeon that existed in the game. Yeah, which is another subject we're going to be talking about. Yeah, that was it's absolutely a little bit of a shame that they destroyed every single other dungeon by doing that, but unlucky. And one thing I would like to know for anybody who did play WoW Classic is, did everybody have a UBRS key, or was that only with the initial launches, and over time people stopped bothering to get the UBRS key? I know when I played the remade Classic, I got the UBRS key like immediately. I was like, I am not having that key. Most people didn't get it. Did you run into scenarios, which was a very common thing back in the day, where a group would be formed for UBRS, and then you would realize nobody had the key, and people were selling keys, like they would like 100 gold and unlock the dungeon for you. Summoning a keyhole is still very normal. Yeah. As a rogue, I made sure to guarantee myself a spot in the raids. Yeah. Once then I got the key. Do a run of Swallow's Compass with some crawlers, see how long it actually takes, and tell us how long you thought it took. Could do that. Well, I could do with pugging it, because we need the average. If I take the crawlers, they'll sweat it. Yeah, for sure. I think I need to scam it. Yeah, pug it would be a smarter choice, I think. Get the average experience of what that is. Healer insta-Q, smart. Yeah, big smarts. Okay, my guess is then. Alright, what's my guess on this? Are they on days off? Are you off work or something? Oh, you've had 2 days off. Oh my god, you're so the worst. You are absolutely the worst people. Fucking rage-filled. I could do with doing this efficiently for like 2 days. And be done with having to do that. Okay, let's try this then. Scholar. Okay, my guess is 20 minutes. Is my guess. My guess is 20 minutes. And if it isn't 20, it's over. I think 20 to 25 minutes. Let's put it on local time. Okay, we're starting at 10:30 a.m. Hammer, you're not... No, I can't do it with you. You're going to be efficient. Pull normally. Don't giga pull everything. Pull as a pug would pull. Tank stance. Woohoo! I mean, yeah, pull as a pug would. A pug would wall to wall. That's fine. That's fine. What?
Okay, so the timer.
Yeah, they give you 90 minutes. I think that's standard for every dungeon.
Is that always the same with every dungeon?
I think so. The duty timer for dungeon, always 90 minutes.
Standard, yeah. It's so long.
It's something I never pay attention to. I've never had a duty timer run out in a dungeon. Might become more relevant in the Criterion dungeons. I hope this is the right dungeon. Better happy. You better have debated me. This doesn't feel like the dungeon I'm thinking of. God, I so wish I had Peloton. I keep trying to press the key binding for Peloton. It don't work. Just remember, chat knows more than me. About some things. That's normal. That's normal. Are you thinking of Somal? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'll know if it's the right dungeon when we move through it. This doesn't strike me as the right dungeon right now, though. This does feel incorrect. If we should we should go through like a mining mountain where people are mining the inside of it, and then we go onto the top of the mountain, where there is like balloons where you had to get some elements to set off the balloons. I absolutely do not remember this boss, although it appears to have no health, so... Bomby bombs? Are they bombs? They're floating around. Sure. Ah, they're super, super delayed bombs. Fair enough. Why not? I don't think I've had to heal you once yet, Hammer. Right, does this take us inside the mountain then? Huh. I would definitely say this is not the right dungeon then. Well, this also gave us an average of other dungeons. I was thinking this is WoW Cataclysm. That's exactly what I was thinking. I don't remember this at all. I assume we hide behind these for this. Telefatol is the one. Okay. Alright, well, we can still get an average time here. So my gut feeling is the normal dungeons take like 15 minutes. This is a very cool dungeon. Not the dungeon I was looking for. Don't get debuffed. Good stuff. When we queue for Zephytol after this, none of you queue up. Okay? Good luck with that. Just don't. You can resist. I believe. Just don't. That's all you've got to do is just don't. Easy. Music's great. I don't remember. Can someone give me context to what this dungeon was about? Why was I here? No, don't queue. Just don't. It was one of the 4 Lords dungeons. There's one of the dungeons for the 4 of these. Okay. Ha! The old wiggly arms. Tentacruel, baby. Gotta catch 'em all. Kind of rude. Oh, watch his old wigglies. He gave me the old wiggly arms. Why is... No, this is not a war turtle. Oh, he's giving the old sludgy fingers. What the hell? Something got to come out of that? Gathering ethereal energy. Oh, it's just an area denial. Okay. I guess you kind of want to stay in the middle. I think it just slows you down. Maybe does some damage to you. Ether is gathering in the book. If he's standing it too long, you'll die. Yeah, he probably does some ticking damage. Makes sense. I would give so much if the debuffs would line up perfectly next to the nameplates. I always assume the wrong person. Need a plug-in. Shh. 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 Don't use that round here. You keep your filthy stories to yourself. You keep your fucking filth to yourself. Anybody, no spoilers. No spoilers. Anybody watch House of the Dragon yesterday? Because I know it was one of the quickest Googles of somebody's age that I've ever done in my fucking life. I was very uncomfortable. I was very uncomfortable. Oh my god, for real? I was like, wait a minute. I don't like this at all. And Emma was like, I'll check. And 22, by the way. 22 is the answer. Do you say you should watch it? I don't know, man. I was genuinely like on the verge of turning that off last night. I was like, I don't like this at all. This is... I don't like where this is going. This is not for me. Somebody had sex who was visually extremely young, and it was... It's okay, it's 22. We had to check, though. Emma was all over it. I was like, No way, she's 22. That's what I thought. She was about 15 years old, man. I was like freaking the fuck out. I was like, I don't like this. Oh, is this why you thought I meant this dungeon? Because you end up on the top of this mountain. Worse than Arya? Arya, I was totally fine with. I knew that Maisie Williams was way old enough. I was fine with the Arya thing. But yeah, I definitely started to freak out a bit last night. I was like, I'm not digging this. What the hell? Can you tell I don't remember any of these bosses? Now, what does this do now? One rescue? What a guy. What a rescue. Why was that toxic? He had meteor on him. He was stuck out there. What do you mean toxic? It wasn't toxic at all. I assume he just AoE'd. Nothing happened. Second heaven. God, I wish I knew what some of these spells did. Oh, Bex, we're going to finish at exactly 15 minutes. I'm going to use sure-footed here. Yeah. I think they're designed to be 15 minutes. Like, tactically designed that way. House of the Dragon is definitely worth watching in my mind. The Lord of the Rings one, I enjoy the Lord of the Rings one. I don't see what the beef is at all. I'm totally fine with it. I think it's a fine show. 14 minutes. GG. Oh, wait. I haven't had to do this in a while. There you go, Hammer. Good job. Good job. Yeah, I'm enjoying Lord of the Rings. I really like Galadriel. I think she's cool. I would like to see more of Elrond. I actually kind of dig the, I don't know his name, the elf. The orcs are sick in it, though. But I'm fine with it. But I'm also not a giga Lord of the Rings fan. So, for me, it's fine. It's just a nice fantasy show. Okay. So, we think it's Zelphatol. Alright, nobody queue up. Nobody queue up. Don't do it. That was way too fast. Right, we go in at 10:45. I swear to God, if I see crawlers in here. Looks fine. Looks fine. Okay. Yeah, we've got some cutscene enjoyers. We've got returning sprouters. Alright, this is good. 10:45 is when we start. Hi all. Be polite. Inspect their plates. No, I don't want to look down on them. I don't want to be disappointed in the team before we even start, you know? You know they're plateless. It means you already do. Not true. Not true. If this is the right dungeon, it looks right. This looks to be the correct dungeon. I think we should be okay. I like this dungeon as well, but I remember it being weirdly long. It's also curious, actually, Bex. It's in Heaven's Ward. It's not Stormblood. So it's pre when they locked down the design choices. The giveaway was balloons. That looks kind of correct. It also looks like we'll go inside the mountain and do the mining. Of course. Of course. I love it when he looks like you're going to stop moving and then I put my shield down. Feeling confident, are we, kid? Is this like auto reapplied, this poison? Maybe. Yeah, melee proc. It seems to go on straight away. Oh god, I don't have half my spells. Ew. I wonder why XCOG was grayed out then. Okay. I don't know. Well, this is a realistic group setup, so... As far as I know, I don't know if there's anybody undercover in here, but I think we're pretty genuine. That guy's getting, like, giga bullied over there. It's kind of mean. Are we supposed to kill those things? Why not? I don't even know what poisoned that guy. Mechanic was to stand under the boss when balloon ads die to hit the flying boss down. Oh, like Mimiron. Gooboo! I can't catch you in the real world. Oh, yeah, this is the dungeon. Yeah, this is the one. This is the correct dungeon. All add-ons are against the TOS, is their official stance on it. However, the general rule of thumb is, as long as you're not rubbing it in people's faces and being a general douche nozzle about it, like saying your damage was low, then nobody bothers. But technically, they're not allowed. Yeah, it's don't ask, don't tell. If you start saying things like, hey warrior, your DPS is well shit for your item level, bro. What is your Raider.io score, though? If you start doing that, then you'll get yourself in trouble. What? You want things that make your life better? Keep your mouth shut? You should be fine. But that's... It's on you, you know? It's on you. And it's anything about texture mods, like having 4K. All add-ons are against TOS. That's, they are very blanket with it. All of them are against TOS. But like I said, they are very much in the belief of don't ask, don't tell. But if you read any of their announcements and discussions on this, there was one not too long ago. They very much do not want FF14 to become like World of Warcraft. They don't want boss mods. They don't want the entire game and mechanics to be taken up with timers and things like that. They don't want that. So in order to not know what's planned for the future or anything like that, everything is technically against the TOS. But I can assure you that a lot of players use add-ons. Celine left behind? Where's she's here? Celine's fine. I would never leave Celine behind. We never leave Celine behind. What, interrupt? Woohoo! I think people hate this dungeon for the same reason it stuck out in my mind. I feel like it lasts a long time. When did we come in? 10:45? So we're 8 minutes in and we haven't hit the second boss yet. I guess it is long. We'll see. We'll see. Now we hit this. We're on time. We're actually on the perfect pace for Final Fantasy XIV dungeons. We're on perfect pace right now. So they seem to have a pretty strict design on 5 minutes per section. Ow! Rude. You're too far away, bro. Don't be far away from the healer, man. Kind of curious what happens if you're standing there. Should we line them up next to each other? Overlappers? Look at that. Crispy. Oh, that's good. You can't even knockback prevent that, eh? How sad. You can? You get behind him? You stand in the enemy butt cheeks? Did we just limit break the boss? Railings. Oh, there's little things. Smart. Smart. Yeah. Blind. Shut up. Alright, so here we go and get the relics. And then you take it over to these fellas. Now, should I be taking part in this mechanic? I can't remember what we do with it. Don't we load up a balloon or something? Or do you stand on this thing? The airstone is required to proceed. Oh, and then this spawns it. Okay. Oh, that war balloon's giving me the stink eye. It runs away. I remember something. Did we all kill it at once? Alright, is it drop an airstone? At least we're getting the authentic experience. Okay. Oh, now someone's got AFK. You've never had that happen? Did you know that's how it worked, though? We're getting the true dungeon experience. So I guess this the usual strat then is... Oh, there's two of them. Ignore it. Oh, they're going for it now. Okay. Now I know why this sticks out in my memory. Is Celine gone? Where is she? Oh, she can't ride the little lifts? Oh, that's so mean. Kind of rude. You'd think she'd be able to fly. Do we not have the relic now? Yeah, I just resummoned her. She wasn't with us. I just resummoned her. Yeah, watch the arcade later on. Fuck me, this takes ages. I totally remember why this is... Come on, Celine. Yeah, I think it's only 5 minutes, but it sticks out in my memory, interestingly enough. I think that's what I find curious about it, is like the 5-minute difference definitely sticks out in my memory. That's the average pug experience, mateys. If you don't know, it's what you get. Cutscene watchers? Oh, Eris is a skipper! That's what I thought. That's what I thought. A plateless skipper. Take note, look down upon them, friends. For they are the evil. That tank gets cracked sometimes. It's not even going to be 5 minutes, I don't think. Or maybe we haven't got the limit break. So I think on a normal run with people knowing what was going on, it'd still be into the 15. Garuda? I don't remember Garuda being in here. Mommy? Mommy Garuda? Look down, skipping all cutscenes and dialogue. I've seen them before and I definitely remember them. Let's give everyone a nice shield. Oh, this is perfect timing. No, 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 no! Rescue, rescue, rescue! God bless Life Grip. Picnic! What's Life Grip? It's rescue in World of Warcraft. It can be used to troll. I think the mirror's worse. 19 minutes. In an overall... Oh, God! Just left. GG, guys. Great run. Great run. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Hey. Hey. I commend you, sir. Do I get a negative commendation for commending people who don't have plates? Like, does it take one off me for doing that? I earned one. I earned one. There you go. It's a good question. Do you think you should take one away from me? Skizzy, what's up, dude? What's happening, player? Now the same run with crawlers. How many accommodations do I have? Not that many, I don't think. I haven't been playing long enough. Where is it? 455. Now everybody proceed to flex your thousands of commendations. And begin. 1900, there it is. 1650, 1391. I have 455 reports. 42,069. Wow. It's very impressive. 3,224. We're all very happy for each other. I got 1,100 after 2,500 hours. I'm not up to that kind of level yet. Crusher with one. But Crusher, you can have your own private island. You're not digging my island, Crusher. Look. I've got a Talkabo. I've got 2 Mins Chris. I've even got Fat Boss. Look. Say hello to Fat Boss. He's a beautiful creature. Born out of love. It's really more of a Loz than an Alex. Very lifelike. The Colonel. Ross.
Hello and welcome to...
And Kelthas Blackstrider. And Johnny Snappers. The perfect porn star. The perfect porn star. That whole thing with, what's he called, drives me mad. Pa! Where's Master Gator? That's Johnny Snappers. Johnny Snappers is the Master Gator. Did you leave the museum up and running? Morning, John. Morning, pal. Right, if you did not see the museum yesterday, I assume it still works. I don't think it's been taken down. Okay, the museum was created out of shadow art. It was a wonderful experience. It was all timed to go with the snapping of the lights on yesterday, and it had musical themes going to it. But we had the devouring, as you can see, to represent perseverance. All done out of shadows with the light here. Then we had Sussy C, which was a wonderful, wonderful sussy maker. And then, of course, the masterpiece that was created, which was Lord Alpha. In all his glory. Absolutely magnificent. Yes. Keeping it clean, Braga. That's some good work there, pal. That's some good work. That's some good work. So, you're all free to visit the Museum of Modern Art. You're all free to visit. Did Clog say he'd updated his room? Or did we see it? Where is Clog? Gotta be earlier than this. What's Clog's room number? Has he moved out? Where's Clog? Clog didn't pay rent and got kicked out? Has he actually lost his room?
Can't wait to see.
Or am I
the
just being
crawlers
giga
going
blind?
through Savage. When will you be starting it?
Both? Well, when did this happen? Oh, he's there. Fuck's sake. Scared to death. I was like, where's the fuck's Clog? Oh, yeah. I don't get why the Tataru pictures have become a part of this sinister evil. Despite some of the horrible things you guys have created, I still find this room the most disturbing. I really do. Oh, yeah, they did the FC cleanup. Yeah, not surprising. Pretty standard when massive free companies. Pretty standard. I love this. I think we are going to do a competition in the new year for movie-based houses, because this Blade Runner one is so good. Oh, it more reminds me of Rapture. I would never kick Cloggy. This Blade Runner inspired one is so good. Yeah, it strikes me more as Rapture than Blade Runner, but it's... Well, Freya's definitely the inspiration for it, but it looks like Rapture outside, how they've made that. It looks so good. Oh, can I visit? Yes, Dan, what's the location of your guild house? Okay, I did say I'd visit it yesterday. I need to go to a different world, don't I? And then we could play some FF7. Need a date for the haunted house one so I can get organized. Okay, weekend closest to thingy, I would think. I need to change worlds. I need to go to Light. Twintania. I need to go to the Light people. Yeah. Do. Yeah, Light Omega lol. Shit, can I remember how to do this? Visit another data center. Light Twintania. I need to go mix with the pores crystal. Lights. Fucking filthy.
While you're transferring, DM you something. Maybe a bit.
That again?
While you're waiting for the
Oh.
a little bit.
It may be a bit DMCA.
Yeah, maybe.
合図を待って You and me 手を取り合ったのは僕の勇気ある行動 立ち止まんないんでいいんだからねそろそろしいなこの人生できないだなんて言わないでね言わないでね今さらなんて言わないでね僕ら今ささわになって回り始めるだんだん嫌になってでも好きになるねねわかんないな自分界にもどんどん中にあってでも離れてくパッパ音になって踊り始める散々嫌になってでも好きになるねねわかんないなこの先もずっと僕のことを
I don't know how that was made, but I hate it so much. It's so well made for the nightmare that it produces. I don't want to know how it's done. We really couldn't have had some Metallica or something. It's amazing and I love it. I can't listen to that again. I can't listen to that again. That's something else. That is that is something else. Oh man. Okay. I don't know what I was ready for, but it wasn't that. It wasn't that. I was ready for some things, but it was not that.
That was amazing.
Who made it? I don't know. I have no idea. It was expertly done. Chao Yang. There you go. No, I mean, don't start linking stuff. Gaston the Summoner. That was like some BTS concert type thing. I guess. Right, where am I going? Okay. Right, we're on a visit. I don't know where we're going or what we're about to see, but let's dress appropriately. We're going to the Foundation. Apparently we have a home to visit. God, I've only been here 2 seconds and I'm being wired at. Get away from me. God, I wish I could step on every Lala. God, I would. What's the address? Ward 5, Plot 42. This will be in the sub-district, right? 42. Oh, it's a nice summer's day here in the Foundation. A lot of empty plots. Still plenty of housing options available. For the right free company. 42, 44, 47. Being blind. Or is it behind one of these? Where's 42? There it is. Up there. Oh, it's a biggie. Empyrean Northwest Subdivision. This house? I appear to be in the right place. You know how I feel about Damazoos. Yeah, beautiful, he shouts. Welcome! Hold on. Hello? Hello, Mike and chat, and welcome to the house. Okay. The private rooms 2 to 9 are also mine, so feel free to check them out. All have different styles. Am I in danger? Zeppler has been here a few months ago, and she wanted to lock you up in the room. Is that right? Potential danger. Weapons at the ready. Oh. Oh, it's fancy. Well. It looks like a hotel. I mean, I think this spot should go to Minfilia, but there's a casino downstairs. I do feel like Minfilia should take that spot. Surely over Louisoix, right? Surely. No? Oh, I like that. I like the use of paintings to give it like the non-Ishgard feel outside. I like that a lot. Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely yes, you approve. Oh, this is a nice little nook. I like that. That's cool. This is so detailed. This is so nice. We salute. Oh, we know where the riches are kept. Yep. We salute. Alright, let's see what's downstairs. It's a really nice place. Oh, I like that. I like having the little saucer man. Whoa! This is fancy as fuck. It's actually really classy. That is a big-ass Moogle machine. I'm not going to play the games now, though. The lions really make it work. That's actually the best place I've seen someone use this table. It's just so big to put in a private room. And not made to look like it's the meeting at a round table or something. This is awesome. The aquarium in the background like this. Yeah, it gives such a nice backdrop. Okay. Fresh fishies. It's a sushi table. When the sun is out, it's even better. Yeah, we hear that a lot. Especially during housing competitions. We had to go revisit a house once, right? It was built entirely around it being sunlight outside. To make all the light cascade through. He gets the master throne, does he? As the disc plates are now off sale, I'm afraid to say. The disc plates are down for now. But hopefully we'll get them back at some point. Well, I like the tea rooms. Good. Yours was delivered today. Yeah, I believe in total over 1,300 was sold, Chris. So, pretty amazing. Ah! What a different contrasting theme. Just shy of 1,600. Yeah, amazing effort. They're so nice. I like this as this separate off different area. This is a really, really nice house. This is great. This is really good. You said you designed 0 to 9? I don't feel like I'm in danger, which is great. The cozy room. Like your gambling machines. This one's not yours. Okay. Well, this one's superior as it has Minfilia in the correct location. As appropriate. Visiting strangers' rooms? I thought you said 0 to 9. Flower shop. I thought it'd be a bathhouse. It feels a bit cold. It feels slippery. I feel like I would slip in here. Exit through the gift shop, maybe. Oh no, horrors. Oh, absolute horrors. There's no way you could sleep in this room. There's 0 chance of being able to sleep in this room. It does feel a bit like a Chris room. I don't know why there's one that lurks just where your head should rest. Why would you put one there? And that is sinister. That is a sinister image to wake up to in the morning. I have woken up to some fish-faced creatures before, but that would spook me out. Next. I don't like it. I find this horrifying. More than most horror things. The blue screen recording room? What do you use this for? The blue screen room is exactly what the name suggests. I use it to make videos, so it's practical and other people can use it. I mean, I have my own here. But I get it. That is pretty cool. I didn't know you could get walls like this. I'm kind of annoyed that this one's got a better curve than ours, Chris. For the backdrop. Kind of annoying, Chris. It's got a smoother curve than ours. Very frustrating. The FC uses the walls to have a pride wall. That blue screen wall is a fan creation that made it into the game. Interesting. Yeah, I think Chris does it with something else. The cracked window room. This is the room that made you need to pee immediately. I would hate to be in here with that noise, wouldn't you? I don't like it. You sleep to rain noise? I can't, man. I really can't. Lounge room. Is that supposed to be lounge? Or is... I'm not familiar with the word lounge. Ah. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Why don't you find your loved one and take a seat right over there? And I'm going to entertain you tonight. You're looking beautiful. Caught some sun out by the beach. Why don't you grab yourself a margarita and sit out over there? I'm gonna come with your design. Make your dreams come true. I am a complete silence guy. Yeah, I am an absolute silence guy. Oh, I missed one. The samurai. Oh, one is called the attic. You have a thing for the water. I can't go in any of your rooms without wanting the bathroom. Every single time, I'm still amazed at how different every single style of these is. I wish the samurai stuff appealed to me. It does not. The attic. You can pee in the hot tub? No. The windows really make this kind of stuff work. I was expecting something cobweb-filled as well. I'm a housing designer in FF. I would love you to care respect to my latest personal plot project while you're over in Light. It's on Raiden on Empire. Ward 14, P17. We can have a quick look for sure. I don't want to get... we are doing a housing competition soon for Halloween. So I don't want to be checking everything before then. But this is lovely. But we'll come and take a look at yours and see what's going up. I don't think 10 was one of yours, right? I don't know why, but you just have to, right? There's nothing even in here. This was fantastic. Thank you so much for the invite. You have a definite talent for this. I can't imagine how long this took to do. If you want more content, I also changed the house to provide you with a tier list link. I made them rank them, different housing walls to showcase. You are quite the little salesman, aren't you? Well, thank you very much for the invite. I'd love to see what you could do with a set theme, especially after what we saw last year with Silent Hill and everything. And the bloody kitchens and things. It's fantastic. You're welcome. Indeed, thank you very much. Let's go and see Zayana, who's a housing designer in FF. Let's do that. I need to change realms. So I bid you good day, sir. Thank you very much. That was a lovely, lovely housing setup. Absolutely lovely. Where is Empire? That's still Foundation, right? Yeah. So I need to go to Raiden. Bye-bye, world. Light pause. Scumbag light players. No morals. No scruples. All plateless and sad. They don't live like us over on Chaos. They're different. Twisted. Something happened to them. You know what I mean? Ward 14. Plot 17. Zeppler will come for me? Oh no. Incoming rabbits. Whatever shall we do, guys? What a nightmare this all is. We're screwed, crawlers. We're screwed. Okay, 70's over there. The Halber's Head. I'm in the right place, I assume. It's up. How do I up? This is how I up. I believe I'm in the right place. Somebody's home. Is this you? Welcome, Miss Inspector. One note: when you step inside, you may need to jump once after spawning in. You may also want to go into first person. Other than that, I hope you enjoy your visit. Hold on, let me check your credentials. Alright. Very well. I'm excited. Close the gate on me. That's fine. The outside looks safe enough, guys. Oh. It's built for Lalas, I'll say that. Jesus Christ, how much detail have you put into this? Yeah, it is a wind-up Matoya for sure. It is primarily designed for Lalas. I noticed. I feel like Gandalf going into the Hobbit house. Christ, there is not an inch wasted in this place. We're not even having a competition, but this is pretty amazing. I assume you've had to cut off downstairs, right? For item limit? Did you just call me a tallie? It should accommodate tallies. Yes, it's a medium plot in which I've only used one floor. I would have thought so, because this is like an unbelievable amount of stuff per square inch. Ah, I'm a tallie. Tallies in shambles. And even then, I had to cut off some of the main floor. Yeah, I could definitely see people thinking it's too cluttered, but it feels real. It feels lived in. I really like it. It feels like a movie set almost. Yeah, you really wanted that lived in feel. Yeah, it feels like something that like you would bump into in something like Neverending Story or something like that. Double the limits, Yoshi P. We need more. Imagine having to dust the place. Where's the enchanted broom? Is detail always something to look at? Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's a million things on my screen no matter where I turn it. Like all this shit under here as well. chat is right. We need higher item limits. You just fill it up again. That's why they can never win with the glam dresser. They give you more stuff, you'll just fill it all up again. It's like an antique shop. It reminds me of... I keep getting this image of... Neverending Story when he visits the house of the tiny people. And it's very much like that. But then I could do this across all 3 floors. I mean... God, I hate Lalas. You look evil. You look very evil. This looks like somewhere that you're, like, gonna murder some kids. Right? You've got this sinister music playing. Yeah, for sure. Warsism. Well, thank you so much for the invite. This is pretty spectacular. Pretty spectacular work that you've done here. This is awesome. I mean, this is really pushing the limits of what's possible for this kind of stuff. The exit door is locked. I can find my way out. I'll be fine. I wasn't planning to look at beautiful houses. A couple of people asked. Yeah, thank you very much. What's the address? Where are we? Raiden. Oh, Raiden. Which ward and place was it? We're in plot 42, was it? Check. Let me just ask. What's the address again? Ward 14, plot 17. Yeah, Ward 14, plot 17. That's your since it's on light. I'll look at more houses another time. I don't want to be doing it all day, that's all. We've looked at like 9 rooms today. It's been great. Wow, thank you both for inviting us out. Dee's house is pretty popping now. I'm never going in that pit of death again. Last time I was there, I was ensnared. There'll be no doing that. I'm never going back there. They literally stuck me. Oh, is that you, Chow Yang? You made that video? That was horrifying. Can we not get some Metallica? Some Maiden or something? Can we not do that? Can I... I need to log out to move back, don't I? I can't go to Chaos from here. Okay. Take me home. Get me away from these... light people. I know where is Waking Dragon. Walking Dragon. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, it's specifically set for that song. Oh, is it a pre-done animation? Gotcha. Take me home. Take me home. I want to go home where the plates are many and the people are respectful. Go for it, Pete. Unless it's going to be quick. It's going to be quick. All that water's made me actually need a pee. Go on, log me in. Light is a pure land. No. It's full of weakness. That's all it is. It's weak. Sad. Lonely. People who haven't got the stones to live on chaos. Haven't got the mental fortitude to deal with what we deal with over here. To plunge their hands into the filth and come out clean. That's what we do on Chaos every single fucking day. I'm gonna get up and you're gonna say it's done, aren't you? Alright, I'm going for a pee. Fucking knew it! Fucking knew it. I absolutely knew it. Alright, go. One of the biggest problems in the universe is when your wall suddenly splits in half. But what are you going to do? Is there anything that can fix this problem? Welcome to Displate. Displates are art for cool people, and you want to be cool, don't you? Did you know that putting pictures on your wall is the #1 cause of home-related injuries? Not anymore. Displates are incredibly simple to put up. Even this guy can do it. Displates use a simple leaf and magnet system to put them anywhere you want. Not only that, when you come to take them down, your walls aren't covered in holes and unsightly marks. You can put anything you want up there. Tired of it? Simply swap them around to keep them fresh. You could have this. Or this. But not this. Go to displate.com and use your code to receive your summer sale discount now. Look at that. Perfect. Thanks, Displate. It's good to be home. Where the plated exist. Fuck. Fuck. Why has no one got any plates? Get plates. You're chaos. Act like it. I've let them know. I've passed the message on. Get plates. Act like it. Don't come here acting like light scum. I'm gonna have my sandwich now, so I'm not pining for it in like half an hour. Reported? No way. Oh, that's really cool. I didn't know you could get a comic strip background. Plate's done properly. I can approve. It got added this patch. That's really awesome. I hadn't seen anyone use the comic book one. Oh, come on. Please be nice. Ah! God damn it. I just can't catch a break these days, man. I can't catch a goddamn break. One day I'm going to raise a chocobo. I'm going to have to raise a chocobo and investigate that deep, dark underbelly. The fuck? Why am I here? What? But cliffhanger doesn't happen here. Right? Cliffhanger happens over there. It does. I don't think I've ever done cliffhanger here. There's another one? I don't think I've ever done this one. I have? When? I don't remember this at all. Oh well. We'll find out. After I have my glorious peach yogurt. Yeah! Peach! Mm. Apparently, Jesse's house is popping now, Pressia. Trying to compete with the crawler status. Is that what it is? Hmm? Think you've got what it takes. We have our own art museum. Do you? Don't think you have. Don't think you have. Yeah, NSFW Art Museum. We've got all the class. Gaston video. Bex linked it. Gaston the Summoner.
No one cares like Gaston, reads a book like Gaston. No one can Muhammad with his looks like Gaston. Not a bit of my glamour is gaudy. As you see, I've got crit melts to spare. I make Titan blush with my trim body. And if you're not careful, you'll die from pain flare. No one reads like Gaston, no one weaves like Gaston. No one gets them go passy with ease like Gaston. I've got summons in all of my duty finders. That's for Gaston. When I was a sprout, I pulled 5 dozen ants every dungeon and hid down a bank. And now at endgame I pull 6 dozen ants, and I never give back to the tank.
Oh, poor Gaston.
No fights like Gaston, mentors quite like Gaston. No one tells healers they should adjust like Gaston. As an arcanist, yes, I'm intimidating. My water stride that Gaston. There's Garudar and now Ifrit. Gaston is the best, watching Fester and Crit. No one wipes like Gaston, steal spotlight like Gaston. No one blinds the group with LB3 like Gaston. I'm especially good at my limit breaking. My water strike and summon a guy. Gaston.
I wouldn't invite him to my group. Who made that? Denmo. That was great. Mog that WMV. Goodbye, Mr. Face. Moonwalker.
No bells allowed. Oh my god, it's that happened. Oh, it's the warrior of my fall. Square Enix.
Is it the whole trailer? Pretty much.
The final days were upon us. The fabric of the star had begun to break. Its lands rent and fall.
Son of Prey.
Hello, Alice. Whoosh. We're whoosh magic cast room. Kaboom. We're cast magic. Roar. Ouchies. Ouchies. Tails ring. Life's exclamation point plus. Intervene, Deltron, shield bash. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Zap-zap. Tails, whoosh. Jump and pull. Alice. Healing magic. Are you alright? I can look after myself, you know. And I've had enough of this rabble. Come on! Exclamation point. Ah! Everything is running. Smile. Door closed, sound effect not wave. Elevator go up. Door open not wave.
It's so fucking stupid.
Green blades, dark, and light. Going, the coming of the end. Back and forth. And Walker.
It's so fucking stupid. Oh my god. I can't imagine editing that and being like, nailed it. I really can't imagine finishing editing that and being like, yes. This is the way. That's so dumb. Are they all gonna get fucking cooked? There's a crawler! There's a crawler in the video! I saw a crawler! Who's that? Who's that? It's me. Betrayal. Oh my god. It's me. Spotted. Oh god. Alright, let's do this. Let's move on. I don't remember this. My memory's getting shocking with stuff like this. Rescue the Chocobo chick? Oh, do I remember this? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I do. It's coming back to me now. Don't blow me up. Thank you. Oh, shit. Not risking it. 2 spooks. Oh, I don't like it. Yeah, that's a tricky jump. Oh, it's still a one-shot, though. Easy game, easy life. Who fell down? Where are you? Come on, Calypgian. That was risky. That bomb was going to go right up your ass. Don't fall now. Tender. Don't panic. Don't panic. Don't panic. Steady. 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 Good job. Good job. You can ride the bomb wave across the set of gaps. Alright, you're min-maxing this way too hard. You are min-maxing this way too hard. Yeah, no panic. I just realised my yogurt's gone off, so I've just eaten 1 bite of off yogurt. So, that's a thing.